So, back for another Believe in Boyt with this Charger Bug team. And already it's starting to be quite fun to use Charger Bug again, even though it always seems to underperform, but I'm pretty sure I got a battery boosted KO that I wouldn't have got otherwise in the previous episode, so let's try and keep going with the Charger Bug. Interesting. Side spam was one of the things I was thinking about when I was deciding what to use with Charger Bug, because Alakazam Expanding Force with a Life Orb in Psychic Terrain next to a Charger Bug, that's going to do a lot. But I went with this stuff instead. Still going to try Charger Bug, because why not? They don't have too much for Duraludon. So Duraludon's definitely coming. My own Indeedee is actually okay as well. I think I'm going to lead Indeedee, but have Duraludon in the back. Because then I don't Dynamax immediately. And I want to Dynamax Duraludon this game. And then it's between Urshifu and Togekiss, and I'm pretty sure it's Togekiss. So I'm going to delay my Dynamax. Just do a lot of damage with Specs Expanding Force. So I thought that was good enough. Specs Indeedee is equivalent enough to Life Orb Alakazam, and only requires one Mon as well. That's not so bad. Get to go for a String Shot Expanding Force here, and if Indeedee survives the Venusaur attack, I'm in a solid position. So, let's hope that this basic EV spread allows Indeed to live. Felt weird targeting single target with Expanding Force. I haven't used Indeedee enough to use Expanding Force much, and when I've used Expanding Force it's been on Showdown. But then I guess you're still single targeting that. It feels weird to single target. But they're immediately Dynamaxing, so that's not so bad. They take her out of the Venusaur. That's got the Max Quake stuff that can do good damage to Duraludon. So I need to take care of that. Then maybe I go into Togekiss after they OHKO my Indeedee with the Vine Lash. If I survive the Vine Lash, I'm going to get KO'd to the Ferocious Beating, but hopefully Indeedee is naturally strong enough. It'll be close. That's just Ooze. I definitely live that. Yeah, I'd have lived a Vine Lash, but not the recoil, like the Ferocious Beating as well. Now this is going to do a huge amount of damage. This probably KOs the Talonflame, and it puts the Venusaur slower. I mean, it's definitely slower, right? Oh no, it's not slower because I won't get a String Shot on it. Well, that was a good first turn. Battery Specs, Expanding Force, let's go. Should have clicked Light Screen that turn. But there we go. Two things are KO'd. And that's one of the reasons why I was considering Alakazam, but that's fine. Now I don't have too much for Duraludon, which is really nice, so I am feeling quite good about this. I'm going to lose both Pokemon here, but I think that's okay. There's no point String Shotting because I'll lose Charger Bug. Like, if Charger Bug survives, I might as well try and Light Screen. It's a shame I didn't Light Screen that last turn. That would have been very good. I'll lose both to Expanding Force and Fire Move here. No, I won't. So I am getting a Light Screen. Or I'm getting Expanding Force. I'm getting Expanding Force. That might KO the Arcanine. Especially with that recoil. Well then. This went well. I didn't have the battery boost there, unfortunately, but there we go. That was quite a good first game. And my Indeedee is apparently EV'd perfectly by just having a very, very basic EV spread. Not bad, not bad. Maybe a bit excessive going for the Dynamax with Duraludon, but I might as well guarantee it. I'll live with the Assault Vest even just as a regular Duraludon, but yeah, that Expanding Force was quite strong. I wonder if it was necessary to have the battery boost to KO the Venusaur. I'm quite glad they went for Ooze instead of Vine Lash, because then that meant I got another Expanding Force off. Oh, they did have Focus Blast, so I'm definitely pleased I Dynamaxed. Even though I would have lived, I'm definitely pleased I Dynamaxed. Even though Expanding Force KOs the Alakazam here. So that is just literally click 3 Expanding Forces, get 4 KOs. Didn't even need the Dynamax on Duraludon at all. Like, that was literally just Indeedee sweeping with Specs Expanding Force. That was quite nice. Now I'm curious if the battery mattered. It would be close. It'd be close if it did. I should have checked to see if the Venusaur had bulk, but like, Specs Expanding Force is pretty strong. And it was nice because I had them somewhat pinned on that turn 1 as well, because if Talonflame doesn't click Tailwind, I'm still faster. So it has to be Venusaur that does the damage. Okay. Pretty standard team. So I'll still try Charger Bug, will I? Charger Bug is still okay here. I think I'm going to just do the same thing again. Especially if they lead with Hatterene and... Oh, no, actually, no. I want to lead Duraludon here. Duraludon is good. In fact, I might not lead Charge Bug. Indeedee, Duraludon is so tempting. I think that's got to be the play, right? Because that definitely stops any Trick Room coming out from the Hatterene. And would I be strong enough to KO the Dusclops? I don't know. I'm going to bring Urshifu, mainly because of the Tyranitar. Maybe I'm not bringing the Charger Bug this game, unfortunately. Whoops, I didn't bring Charger Bug. Unfortunate, but I think it did work, technically, in the first game. I'll have to see if the Expanding Force was strong enough normally, but we will see. But no Charger Bug this game. But surely I have to go Indeedee Duraludon against this. They lead with Venusaur, we may have to deal with some Sleep Powder stuff. If they don't lead with Venusaur, this lead should be very good against everything. Okay. So how much do I believe in Indeedee and Duraludon? Because I have Dragon Tail on my Duraludon. So I can see that they can crunch me. I think this is entirely the point of having Dragon Tail, and I don't believe in Duraludon because I don't have Dark Pulse. So I'm going to just Dragon Tail it. So I can just close combat or even Surging Strikes the Tyranitar whenever I want. So if I stay out of Trick Room, even if I lose Indeedee this turn, I should be okay. Although if there is a Venusaur waiting in the back, then losing Indeedee isn't ideal, but I do not know the Dusclops calcs, and I don't trust them. Dusclops is too bulky. I wonder if a battery boosted power, how much would a battery boosted Max Darkness do? But then that's going to be slightly weaker than Stab, so it wouldn't KO, but that is Max on Tyranitar immediately, so that's okay. Now I just need to see a Trick Room and Dragon Tail to be a little bit accurate. Just a little bit. Oh. Well, I'm still Dragon Tailing and Expanding Forcing the Dusclops. I don't know why you would Ally Switch in front of a Duraludon, but here we go. Yeah, that definitely would not have KO'd. And they went for Knuckle. Will this be strong enough? Probably not. Superpower would have been. But Ally Switch in front of a Duraludon is always quite odd. I'd actually quite like to miss, but I didn't miss. Nice chip. I like how it spins around. And there's Torkoal. That's good. That's very good. Because that's going to drop to Expanding Force, and that would force them to have to attack the Indeedee now. I'm considering switching out into Urshifu with the Indeedee, just to preserve it. But then I don't want my Urshifu taking unnecessary damage, because I could Surging Strikes through like the whole team now. What else did I have? I had Togekiss as the last, didn't I? So I will Expanding Force. Don't want to activate the Weakness Policy. But I'm going to activate the Weakness Policy. I trust Indeedee to be able to get this KO. Even though it was always going to protect, but that's fine. Because this Flash Cannon should put the Tyranitar in range of whatever I want to go for. Even if it does activate the Weakness Policy, because they've Knuckled already, so it doesn't really matter. Because they got rid of the sand, it actually did a reasonable amount of damage. But there goes the Indeedee. Might actually max the Urshifu. Because then I can start going for Knuckles. And that could be nice. And if they try to yawn me, I can max Lightning. How much do I believe in Urshifu, though, to be able to take down that Tyranitar? Because it may not be able to. That would be very awkward if it doesn't. But I'm going to believe. Close Combat definitely takes it out. But I lose my Choice Band and it becomes a lot weaker. But then I take the Defense drop. I can max next turn. It would just be if they have Solar Beam. I'm going to Close Combat. I can always max later. And this leaves the option to max the Togekiss as well, which could be good against the Venusaur. Now you would assume the Tyranitar max guards, but kind of forced to do this, but no. Okay, that's fine. So it would just be if they have Solar Beam now. If they have Solar Beam, I'm probably losing, not even probably, I'm losing the Urshifu. But then I could sweep with the Togekiss. This will still do a lot of damage as well. That is indeed a lot of damage. Now, do they have Solar Beam? It's become a lot more uncommon on Torkoals. It's just Eruption. Does that even KO the Duraludon? It might. It did. I'm locked into Close Combat now. I'd have to max to be able to hit the Dusclops. But a crit from Togekiss, max move, should KO. Close Combat KOs the Torkoal as well. Dazzle Gleam and Rapid Flow probably KOs the Dusclops, so I would have to Air Slash as well, I think. But we're in the sun. It's not ideal. I'm going to believe in Togekiss. And even still, the Close Combat KOs the Torkoal. It's not going to KO this Hatterene. So, if I don't KO that Dusclops, then they get Trick Room up and I do lose. So it will come down to this critical hit. And I am somewhat unlucky with these Toga crits. It doesn't feel like 50%. Like, I swear I hit more Blind Stings and Blind Hypnosises like significantly more than I do crit the turkets, even though I know that's technically more likely. But it feels significant. Like it's gonna, like Hattering's gonna eat this. That is objectively eating. But if this doesn't KO Dusclops, it now comes down to this: will I get this critical hit? That is not a critical hit, most likely, but that is a critical hit, and Dusclops is just a beast, so it will get up Trick Room, and I now will lose. So it seems like the play was to go for Air Slash there. Although, can't max. They don't have Pain Split. If they don't have Pain Split, it is still possible. Because they have Ally Switch. That surely means they don't have space, because you've got to have Nightshade and Bulldoze. Don't just have Bulldoze, they do have Pain Split. Unfought. Because that is a lot of healing. And that is going to be significant damage with the Dazzling Queen. Definitely takes out the Urshifu. Now will I critical hit this Hatterene? So I think I need to crit this as well to get the KO. And that was not a critical hit. So this is going to be a loss, unfortunately. Should have gone for Air Slash and Rapid Flow, it seems. He's going to Ally Switch just because why not? And if he has Nightshade, that seems odd having Weakness Policy Tyranitar. Yeah, just another Pain Split. Wait. I was going to say that, yeah, they must have... Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I'm going to be in range. To be fair, if I survive whatever Torkoal goes for, if that is just Bulldoze on Dusclops, I'm surely in range at half health. Because it will be single target eruption as well. I should be in range. But if I survive and that is Bulldoze, I do need to crit because I got Mystical Fire dropped, but assuming I live the Torkoal, like legitimately, it's gotta be Bulldoze on the Dusclops. That's definitely in range of anything. So I think it would have to be like a Heat Wave dodge and an Air Slash crit. And even then, Eruption is probably enough. So if I'd have crit that Hatterene, then I'll still have one more max move. And been in Dynamax. And that was the play that they needed to go for. Yes, I forgot about the Ally Switch. It was just Burning Jealousy. Did that KO? That didn't KO, I'm going to be sad. I am very sad. How many turns of Trick Room will I have? There's one more turn of Trick Room as well, isn't there? That was silly. That was an entirely readable Ally Switch. Because that was all that the Dusclops could do. And I did get the critical hit as well. So I would have actually won that game if I had just thought about it a tiny bit more. Because Pain Split was pointless, Bulldoze is pointless, Trick Room is pointless, had to be Ally Switch, and I didn't even use that logic just now, but it doesn't make a difference at this point. That was very readable logic, and my brain just switched off for a second. Unfought. It was very close. I'm surprised that the critical hit didn't even KO the Dusclops. They must be quite specially bulky on this one. But at least the first match went pretty well. I'm happy with that first game. I do need to look up that calc though.